What's up YouTube? This is Ringo from Edsphere, and today it's that, just that amazing day that we have. It's the TOK 2020. Yeah, oh my god, that just sounds nice. TOK 2020. Yes, we are actually finally recording videos with regards or talking about the TOK prescribed title of 2020 essays. And this year the essay is, I would say, quite interesting. I mean, some of these essays just makes you think. It makes you think about, there is just so much more to TOK than this boring old concept of all the ways of knowing, throwing words in. It's a lot more critical thinking. So I am going to really enjoy this year of TOK. So basically, like last year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post up some free videos to guide you guys through the different types of approaches that we can have when analyzing any of these TOK questions. And there's also going to be a paid video talking deeper about each of these approaches. So I guess it's just a little same as last year kind of thing. Have I recorded the paid video? No, not yet, but I am definitely going to do it in the next couple of weeks. But I really want to push out this first video because I want to tell you that I am ready for TOK. Are you? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the first question. And if you feel that I'm talking a little bit too fast or whatever, you can click on the left hand bottom, right hand bottom. You can slow my voice down and you can hear that. So on my screen here, I am going to have the TOK question ready. All right, ooh, we're zooming right in there. So I've had this new setup to see if this new setup works. It looks really cool with the little tiny me. And you can see the rest of the stuff going on my screen. Am I going to highlight, type, or draw like the previous video? Maybe in my other video, maybe not. I don't know. Let's talk about this first. So I'll try to keep this video short but informative. That's what I usually do. So the first prescribed title is actually an interesting one. I love quotes. And if you're my geography student, you would know that if you ever see a quote essay, then I'll say, yeah, do that one because that's the easy one. So what do we have here? Others have seen what is and ask why. I have seen what could be and ask why not. Well, this is a quote by Picasso, and we have to explore this distinction with reference to two areas of knowledge. It's a quote. Who is it by? Well, the first approach I'm going to teach you is to think about who Picasso was and who were the others. Picasso was a painter. He was living in his own little bubble world, and he thinks that he would see things differently. And on a more shallow approach, we could argue that, Picasso is an expert in arts, right? Yeah, all right. So maybe in the areas of art, there's something that inspired him to say a quote like this. Is it that when he was drawing his painting, people say that, this is the convention, you should draw it this way, but he says, no, you know what? I can't swear here, but you know what? I'm not going to give a toot about what the others say. I might have different view. I might think that, why do I have to use this sort of color? Why can't these combination of color be of use? Why can't I use this method to express what I have as a painter? So I think that the first approach when understanding others have seen what is and ask why, I have seen what could be and ask why not, is a difference between this level of skills an expert and a simple layman have. And that's what we're looking at. That could be one approach. And to understand this areas of knowledge, you could use this definitely the areas of art, because areas of art is that area where Picasso it's most profound in, right? So I think that approach is quite interesting. Yeah, about that. Now the second approach I would say is quite informative in my sense, because I'm more of a scientist before I became a humanity teacher. So I would definitely try and look at the second approach, which is the concept of deductive and inductive reasoning. Well, others have seen and asked why. That to me, my friend, is seeing something and trying to figure out what or why or how it came about, to work and understand that concept. So we might see the working, we might see, mass hysteria, people going crazy in human science, and we say, why? We see people with depression. Why is it that people have depression? Is it because of their genes? Is it because of their, ways of thinking? Or is it of the environment that they're living in? So that could be what we're looking at in terms of what we call inductive reasoning. Basically, seeing what there is, you work backwards to figure out the reasons why. Whereas deductive reasoning is, you have an idea. I want to go to space. I want to live on Mars, but what are the limitations? How do I solve these limitations? Can I solve it? Is there a way to solve it? Why can't I solve it? That to me is a type of deductive reasoning, which is the concept of I have seen what could be and ask why. I want to get to A. I don't have the skills. I don't have the knowledge yet. I don't have the technology. So how do I get there? Okay, so that is the fight, the battle between the inductive and deductive reasoning. Actually, they're not really a battle, but they're two mode of thinking, trying to figure out something. So the second approach we can use in here, or the second approach which you can tackle this essay with, is the concept of inductive deductive reasoning. And here we can throw in human science and natural science, because I think that those two are quite a good combination in terms of areas of knowledge to explore this. Now, for those students that likes to challenge themselves, or that thinks that, approach one, it's okay, but there's nothing much to write about other than expert knowledge, personal knowledge, share knowledge, understand the areas of arts. Reasoning, that's pretty much typical in every single other essay. That theme has occurred. Now, here is something that I want you guys to explore in my approach 3. The word seen suggests the use of sense perception. Okay, by the way, this view may be more difficult to understand, and this view might not be liked by many of your school teachers if they don't actually appreciate the concept of ways of knowing. And these are obviously my personal perspective. I mean, I don't expect everyone to agree with it, but you could explore it in such way, and you could express it in a way that allows people to understand this. So this is my take onto this. The word seen suggests sense perception. Sense perception is is one of the ways of knowing in which we argue that it is an essential element in understanding knowledge. Because the word in the prescribed title says what? Others have seen what is and ask why. If they have seen what is and ask why, it means that sense perception must have been important to them. Now this is an interesting part, the second half. I have seen what could be and ask why not. Now, how the hell can you see something that has not actually exist? Is this like a vision? Is this like a those guys where they can see in the future? Well, yeah, that's kind of it. This is that metaphysical way of seeing. I mean, how do you see what could be? It's not even see what could be. It's seeing what could have been. So you kind of have that ability to foresee a future that has never occurred yet, that is never arise yet. So what does that mean? That means that there are other ways of knowing that allows a person to see without sense seeing. Does that make sense? You can see without seeing. So that's only one word that you can see without seeing. It's the word imagination. Okay? So, or intuition. You could also argue that. So basically, that is that. Why is it that some individual seen what could be? So what exactly is knowledge? Is knowledge something that is just seen and you ask why? Is that something that just is limited to that concept of physical sense perception? I see it. Or is it more? Or is it more that you can have imagination playing a role, and in that concept you need to find ways to reach that imagination, to obtain what you imagine, to achieve what you have imagined. So here we can play around and easily link it to the different types of ways of knowing and argue. Why is it that some individuals have that strong imagination, which leads them to new invention, new possibilities? Why is it that other people just see what's in front of them and question it? So I think that, this is a very, very interesting video. I mean, it's a very interesting question, and of course this is an interesting video because I'm giving a lecture on this, right? But the question here is, which approach do you want to use, or which approach would you want to use as your backbone? Because these, I would say, even though I said they're approaches, but I would just maybe rephrase it to say that these are more of elements. These are some elements that you could put in your essay. And yeah, so I think that this is a very good essay for students to approach. But there is so much of these implicit arguments in here that I would say you have to be very careful, because that's what can be distinguishing you from an A to a B to a C, is whether you are able to explore these implicit type of hidden lines in this. I think this is a very good essay to write as compared to the other 2 and 3, 4, and 5, which was 6. I will talk about later. But yeah, so guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I really want you guys to have a think about what these approach could be, how you can approach it, and maybe actually do consider this essay question, because I think it's quite easy. And the hard part is to find 2 good areas of knowledge to compare and contrast, yet understand and evaluate their limitations to how it applies to this essay title. Anyway, so we'll go through more of this in the paid video, and we will talk deeper about these so-called free approaches. And I will give you some more examples and suggest some sort of knowledge question where we can write about. So that's pretty much it. So I will catch you guys later in the next video. Remember to hit the like, remember to hit the subscribe button. This is Ringo from Medsphere. Peace out for now.